So, hello all, hope you're doing good. It's Heisenberg here, the one who trades. First video on market update on what market is doing and what I think is gonna go next days or weeks. Also, explaining Ethereum macro perspective, midterm view, what I think is gonna play out, and the altcoins bleed that it's happening right now. Reasons why yesterday I went out of AP and CTK. Also, I don't know exactly which coins, CFX and some coins just before the big breakdown. I announced it on the Telegram channel, so if you haven't joined yet, it's free and it's on my link on my Twitter account. It's pinned on my Twitter account. It's everything free, always, every day the new updates on general on market. So again, I'll sort out with macro context with Bitcoin and continuing with Ethereum and some altcoins that I talked about on this last stream, also that I talked about on the Twitter and Telegram channel. I'll explain what my thoughts are on them in this situation. First of all, Bitcoin, marking out the key resistance area, as always, the capitulation candle that followed, also marking out the previous range high and the previous range low. Like this. Okay, let's mark out the prices. Okay, good. This zone here is correlated with the mid-range, making it on blue. I use zones rather than exact prices because it gives me better confirmation. So yeah, I'm gonna use them as zones: range high, mid-range, and the range low. Also, what I want to talk about today is this trend line that I'm observing. As I talked on the last stream, a breakdown of this trend line will send us towards this, on short term, toward this demand or supply zone or whatever you want to call it, or order block or whatever you want to call it. So mark out the prices of this zone here, which might be short-term bounce area for another bearish retest here, or even of the trend line and again down. Let's see. Maybe potential forming an head and shoulders here. I don't know. We'll see. But what you need to observe is those prices and this key trend line here. This is what I'm calling about macro mid-term or macro perspective. On Ethereum is clean on macro perspective. Key area to be broken is this area here. Let's mark out the prices like this. Okay, what price did do? Deviation up, deviation bearish, bearish. For as long as we stay under this zone on higher time frame, I'm leaning towards bearish on Ethereum, and I would be cautious on altcoins because we see altcoins are bleeding hard, even though Ethereum hasn't yet break down on lower time frames or Ethereum Bitcoin pair is not showing weakness. Just be cautious on altcoins because they can bleed even harder. On a daily time frame, I want to add confluence of this resistance area. Okay, let's talk about only for macro perspective. This key range high. Let's mark out the key range low, marking the prices like this. Mid range, making it on black. And range quarter comes around this zone here, making it on red, and the other range quarter. Also, what I want to add is on macro perspective also, but it also is valid also on lower time frames. This trend line here is the same as Bitcoin, but this one looks even near for the breakdown. Mark out those prices for macro perspective. If we get close under this zone here, okay, I'll explain it on short-term idea, but I want to mark out, as I marked out that order block zone on Bitcoin, I want to mark out those lows on Ethereum, lows that need to be taken. I'm making that, I don't know, on green. Those lows here correlated with this zone acting as key support resistance area. The lows that I talked about on the last streams, also here, and the last lows. Just mark out those lows just in case you maybe will need them. I'm not being bearish or anything at all, I'm just being cautious on macro perspective. Next, on short term, my views are clear. I'm marking out this key zone as the support, acting as support area for now, like this. Key SR level, as I've been talking for now for weeks and weeks, is this one, this zone here, making it on black like this. And the key resistance area, this range high. Also marking out the equal highs here. Equal highs and equal lows, not but the lows here. So short term, break above here and hold, first target, second target. Break under this zone here, what is going to be our target? I'm thinking that, let me clean this up. This was the previous range low. Like this. This was the previous range low that we consolidated above it before the move up and then back downside. So I'm marking out this price, but I'm not using it directly this one. This one is correlated with this order block that I talked on the other chart. Adding confluence, this trend line here. So on short term, clean break and hold under this, we get the breakdown, probably a bounce from the trend line, bearish retest of the previous range low, breakdown, we come towards this one, target here as first target. Second target, let's see what do we get. Those lows are not on lower time frames, are not cleaned as they need to be cleaned, and potentially towards this lower time frame order block, which which will be okay. I think this zone, which will be correlated with the mid-range zone on the macro. This will okay. Let's just make it cleaner. Explaining one more time. Let's not make this one as a zone, but like this, making those two on different colors. I just want to be as as clean as possible. So as I talked on the lower time frames, a breakdown of this zone, I think that would send us a breakdown of this zone would give the breakdown also of this trend line and send us towards this key zone here. If we fix under it, first target, second target. If we close under 24k on Bitcoin, in my opinion, the gates are opened on even lower prices, because on macro time frame this zone here is key SR level. If we get close under this whole thing was a deviation and a fake out, and we will probably revisit mid-range and probably even the range lows. Bullish case, let me just clean this up. Bullish case, as I said, fix and hold above 30k level, first target, and the second target here. Altcoins looking heavy because also of the Bitcoin dominance thing, but the short term on Bitcoin is simple: target, target, target. I think it's clean enough. Proceeding on Ethereum, the key SR level, as I talked, but I'm using it on a different way on lower time frames. On lower time frames, you see Ethereum hasn't yet broken down. If we get a breakdown of here, I think a bounce will happen. Bearish retest here, breakdown of the trend line, and visit this low time frame support. If this one doesn't hold, it's gonna be tough for Ethereum. I don't think that this zone will hold. This was just a deviation, bearish retest, and towards the range lows. So if we get a close, even on 4-hour time frame, I'm looking at it. You see how it acted as support, support, support. Always acting as support level. If we get close under it, even on lower time frames, I think that Ethereum is gonna go and visit first trend line, maybe a bounce, and break down towards this key SR level on lower time frames. Also this zone here, but I'm also observing, as I said on the other chart, those lows, potentially even this zone here, but I think that those lows will be the most logical target. I will be swing shorting Ethereum if we get a breakdown of this trend line. My invalidation. So if we get a breakdown of this trend line here, my invalidation would be easy because we are also under the key as R level. So my invalidation would be a reclaim of the trend line and this zone here. If we get a reclaim of here on 4 hour or 6 hours, 12 hours time frame, I will cut it with a small loss and I will wait. I don't even know if I will long, but I will wait to see all those highs being taken. If for as long as we break down of here and break down of trend line, I will target this zone here. It's gonna be a swing trade for me, which is gonna be around. Okay, let me. So kind of like this, which is around 4 hour trade, but my key target will be those lows here. Something like this. It's gonna play out in my opinion. Only if we get a breakdown. Not calling it yet. Not shorting the retest here. I will wait for the breakdown and this. Let me just make it like an arrow. This here, this arrow here would be the trigger. Why is altcoins bleeding? It's it's because Bitcoin dominance lost the other day, and I think the last stream, I don't know exactly. I talked about potential reverse area from here, and that happened yesterday. It happened something interesting with Bitcoin dominance. This gap here, I don't know even what it was. It barely moved the markets. So also Ethereum, Bitcoin didn't even move. I think that it was something strange, maybe any new stable coin mint, or I don't even know, which after some hours or a day, it all reversed and made altcoins bleed. It was the same situation as the last time with, I don't know exactly what was its name, the company that sold altcoins on Asia time, that on the morning when Europe woke up, it was market was bleeding. Altcoins were mostly around 20 to 30% down. Same thing happened yesterday. Flash moved downside because of the panic and the company selling their altcoins, or I don't even know exactly. But I will be cautious on altcoins for as long as Bitcoin dominance holds this zone and even this breakout of multi-year accumulation zone. Also, I think that dollar index hasn't yet started its move yet. If we fix above here, it's gonna be a short move towards here and here. This is a breakout in my opinion, with a bullish deviation and retest. I don't like the lows here left, but I don't, for as long as it holds above this zone here and above the red trendline resistance area, I think the dollar, if we fix above here, is gonna go tag here, here, and potentially even this zone. So if dollar starts to show strength, I would be even more cautious on risky assets as Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are. Cadena, I talked about a swing failure of this zone. He didn't react, all fake out this shitcoin doesn't even have volume to play out. Rejection, rejection, rejection. I wanted to see it fix above here to be bullish before taking. If it didn't want to take the lows, it took out the lows, no reaction. I'm not interested on it. Next short, internet computer, the altcoin with the shittest name on the market. It has the same structure as DAR, DAR, but internet computer, I talked about taking full out of this liquidity. It also took out this liquidity on the key as our level here, but I'm not interested on longing it because altcoins are feeling heavy. I'm interested in longing it only if we fix above here. If we get a retest of this zone here, I will be shorting. Invalidation would be close above here, targeting the lower zones. But if we get a close here, this would be a bullish deviation, accumulation, manipulation, and expansion towards these equal highs and probably even those highs. So my long trigger is only if we reclaim this zone. If we get another retest here, I will be shorting with the invalidation close above here on lower time frames, even on 4-hour time frame. Same thing with DAR. I'd like to see a retest of this zone here before going towards those lows here. If we get a retest of this zone here before going towards here, I think that I will be shorting it with the invalidation close above this zone, targeting all those lows here. But as heavy as altcoins look, I don't think that we will see a bearish retest towards this zone. I doubt it, but I have alerts on, so I will be monitoring it. If we fix range high, range low, if we fix above the range low and consolidate, I will be longing with targeting this zone and probably first this zone, second target, and probably even the range high. But I wouldn't be longing. I would be longing even the liquidity taken here if I see weakness on the altcoins as they are looking now. Sushi broke out, gave around 10%, I think 40, looked like 50% gain. Didn't quite went to the target or even the highs. Put your stops at the entry price if you do not want to risk on the on it losing any money. I talked about this coin with a good R&R. It's invalidated because it closed under the key SR level. If we get a close under this key SR level, even on daily 3 days time frame, it confirms also bearish bias. But I'm still observing it in case that we have a deviation here and a breakout of this trend line. I will be longing it if we get above 4.3 dollars price. If we get a deviation here, fix above here, long or spot play, first target here, second one, and the third one. Next, CT key. Yesterday I went out of this one when I decided to go flat. Simple reason, equal highs taken, wick, never closed above it, and boom, sell off. I don't like the way it played out. This chart looked promising, but I got stopped. I think small profit or at entry price, I don't know exactly. CFX, yesterday it closed about a key SR level, but it attacked the equal highs here. I had a scenario about attacking the highs, coming towards the lows. Didn't take the short, it played out perfectly, 15% dump. Unlucky for me, I thought that it would be holding this zone here. We closed 12-hour under it. I called here that I'm going flat on a Telegram channel because I didn't like that we didn't hold this zone. It was just a deviation and liquidity taken here. Sorry, my mic moved. And after the liquidity taken and deviation, it went to attack the lows. Currently, I will be honest with you, it looks like it's pretty heavy. I don't like the way it looks. If we get close under this zone here, liquidity here taken, liquidity here taken. I'm using this one that today if maybe we close as a swing failure pattern, but for as long as we are under this key SR level here, I think that this coin has room to go even more downside, potentially taking those lows here on midterm. So this is it, fast update on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other. I just want to let you know that I'm still short from 31k from around this zone here, and I'm patiently waiting for other take profits to be tagged. I've taken the most profits out, leaving with the stops at profits. Also remember, everything shared on this video is not a financial advice, it's just my thoughts of how market is gonna play out, and always do your own research. If you like the content I share, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, also share it, and I want to thank you all for the support. Last few days and weeks were pretty good, and I like that I'm being helpful to all of you. I hope so. Cheers. Have a good day.